You do not get many days in your sailing life like this one. It had everything from wind, sun and really good racing. The start was postponed a couple of hours due to heavy winds, but it was worth waiting for. This is what we would call champagne sailing. And maybe now we can see the deck sweeping sail starting to do wonders. And once again on the first leg, just like yesterday, we got Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom in the lead. See how they are playing with the winds really efficiently, and they are steadily heeling over and flying one hull. This is what F18 is all about, playing up and down with the wind shifts and the wind gusts. Going up a bit and bearing away in the gust, just feeling the boat letting go and increasing the speed. It's a wonderful feeling. And even though we just have around 10 knots of wind, we are flying. Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom manages to keep on to their lead, going through this extremely narrow strait on the north side of Ute. This is a classic example of when you capsize with an F18. It's when you go into a really narrow channel and you think that the wind is more or less gone, and then all of a sudden a proper gust pushes through the channel and just takes you down before you know it. Second place boat has caught up a little bit, but now there's a surfing race going on straight into the narrow strait again, and they will struggle with keeping their Gennaker up because it's very tight reach in, the wind is light and the swell is massive. Oh, they're gonna let it go now. I can imagine that there are some German swearing going on the leeward boat here for Niklas Nordblom and Fredrik Karlsson. They had the ocean as a lead. It was an enormous lead, but Roger Bodén and Leif Dahl, the winners from the first day, the last leg of the first day, have now caught up and they are on the verge of passing. Probably not even the nice weather and these champagne conditions can ease the mind of Fredrik Karlsson, the skipper of the leeward boat here. Now we got some proper swearing going on. Ooh. Leif Dahl and Roger Bodén are still in the lead, but the most interesting about this last stretch is that we can see that the British are in the race again. They have passed Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom. They have totally humiliated them. It's a massive gap to the third and the fourth and the fifth. We got Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom showing up from nowhere, coming in here to take the third spot. That was worrying. We thought they were out of the race. What went wrong, Fredrik?
First, everything went right, in the right way. So we took the start, we extended the lead, and everything was very good until the wind started in softening. We were a little bit frustrated that we can't find the speed and the light stuff. So, but now we have one idea. Maybe the mast rotation was a little bit too much in the middle. We make it a little bit more out. See if that makes a difference. But that's the only thing we can figure out what to do.
We saw you making a wonderful way through the fleet in the end. What happened?
We were lucky. We got a few nice surfs and puffs.
How would you describe sailing this boat out in the ocean in these kinds of waves?
It's really great.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky, but it's fun to surf.
You need to move your weight around the whole time to adjust, and you keep the speed going, and the more you work, the faster it is, and the easier it flies, the easier it progresses.
Start of leg 2. This will for sure be one of the most intense start because the wind are pushing down on us in big gusts. So this feels like it could be anything from just packed action to carnage. It's going to be really a tough decision to set Jenniker or not to set the Jenniker. You can see that some are being brave here. Reaching in gusty conditions with the Jenniker up is riskful. We will see 20 knots going down here. Jenniker's going up. Some guys are going left, some are going right. It's also a very important tactical decision in this. Which side to pass the islands? Do you want to take the shortcut, or do you want to go where it's a straighter line where you can keep the Jenniker up? And again we have Left Dahl in the lead. They are steady as, I don't know what, steady as a rock. One boat is taking the other way. Just one. That will be interesting. This is not going to be the first one on this leg, for sure. Oh, boat without a driver. Messy stuff. The lure boat is sailing with the jib and the other one just hoisted their Jenniker. And they're actually luffing them up. That's not very nice of them. Whoa! Talk about making it hard. Wow, this is nice. Free wind for the leader. Oh, this is so nice. This is just enjoyable. I could be out there doing what they do without any boats around, just enjoying this kind of sailing. You're standing out there, seeing the whole boat in front of you, working with the Jenniker up and down in the gust. This is better than being on a roller coaster ride. This magnificent nature surrounding you. Blue skies, 12, 15, 18 knots of wind. Fantastic. But just as usual, when the wind is up, we have Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom in the top squad. Now in the second place. Feeling quite confident up there. They're up to windward from the leader. Oh, it's so tight and it's so windy through these channels. Back in the fleet, we're probably going to see some capsizing here. But this is full on racing, and Left Dahl actually lost his lead here in the narrow strait just to the windward of us. Wind was pushing down and they were at the too tight angle to get up, while these boats in front just managed to push on a tough reach, just going super fast. But once again we're gonna have a stop, a sort of a JoJo effect with a passage through a really narrow channel up front. But this is the English, this is the fight we've seen so many times before. The English versus Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom. The crew in this stuff has to work all the time, releasing the main, releasing the Cunningham and taking it all home again, going as close to land as it possibly can, which is quite tough here, ending up tacking through the narrow channel. Left Dahl and Roger can squeeze in on the side there and not having to tack. That was bold. It's probably just 1.5 meters deep down there, and the reach will get richer now. Setting off, power reaching. Amazing sailing out here now, power reaching. This is really fast stuff. We're doing like 18 knots steady now, and this is really challenging for both the helmsman and the crew. The helmsman is standing with the foot strap in his left foot, and the crew is usually standing with his left foot over the other one's of the helmsman's leg. These guys are a bit more ballsy, and Niklas Nordblom is just keeping in front. And a big problem now is to keep your foot on the boat. You can actually get smashed by some waves and land with the side of your body on the side of the boat. The British are going like crazy now. Wow, doing pretty steady 17 to 19 knots. See if they will pass the Swedes, take over the lead. Woohoo! We're getting closer to the end of the day, and we can again see that it's the British team on top and the Swedes that has been working its way through the fleet, and again they're up second. Leif and Roger. This is going to be a fight all the way into the finish. Fantastic sailing. And we got the Dutch, we got Elke and Jeroen. They are third for the moment. This will be interesting. They have to come up quite a lot, and the wind is going to decrease. Maybe the Swedes, Leif and Roger, will be able to keep it all the way in. Oh, the British got a proper gust there, using it all the way. Oh, too bad for the Swedes. They really had something there. Just a small gust making a massive difference. Ah, this looks British. It feels British. Woo! Oh, bold decision, taking a jibe at last. Trying to avoid the lee to land. This could be a game changer. Going behind the Dutch. The Dutch probably has to take a jibe as well. No, they're gonna make it all the way. Oh, look at this. Getting a gust in the last second. So the Dutch snatches the victory. The last 100 meters. Wow. And the Swedes second. What an ending. And fourth are Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom. So congratulations to a nice victory. Tell me a bit about the last part there.
The last part, yeah, that was kind of tense because we were following the leaders a lot because they were doing navigation and we didn't want to hit any rocks. And then the last 100 meters before the finish,
was the strategy from the beginning.
Yeah.
We said we're gonna follow them till the very end, and then we overtake them if we see the finish. So that's what we did.
And we saw fast earlier that the finish was lower than we expected, so we hoisted it slightly earlier, and there was still wind. So
it felt like the other guys didn't really see that was a good option to do, and you were first.
yeah,
They were looking at each other, and we were like, how do you say that? When there's two cats running for a mouse or something, the third one goes away with it.
I mean, you've been sailing this raid many times. How can you still do the strategy of following? You should know this by now, eh?
well, you can answer that one.
Yeah, I think the first time I must have had so much luck, because then we were in the lead, we won the race, and we were in the lead pretty much the whole time, so we didn't have anyone to follow. But I don't know how we managed, to be honest. And now I'm really getting more into the navigation, and you see how difficult it is and how close calls you have to make to go through the minefields, we call them.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. Sometimes you take a moment and you look and you see all those rocks and trees and houses, and it's so beautiful. So it's really cool.
The conditions today was pretty much unbeatable, but believe it or not, tomorrow is looking just as good.